First, he claimed teachers came from, quote, the dumbest parts of the dumbest colleges. And now new video captures a top education advisor to Governor Bill Lee trashing the programs that train our teachers. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Vicki Yates. Governor Lee had tried to downplay the provocative remarks first exposed by our hidden camera investigation, but this new video, uncovered by News Channel 5 Investigates, reveals it was not a one-time slip of the tongue. Our chief investigative reporter Phil Williams continues to follow this major story.
Well, you'll remember that Larry Arnn is the Michigan College president who the governor had asked to set up a network of privately operated charter schools that would be funded with taxpayer dollars. The hidden camera video and the new video reveal a controversial figure critical of pretty much anything operated by the government, including your neighborhood public schools.
I got named in the New Republic magazine as #1 on the top 10 list of enemies of our democracy.
In the hidden camera video, Hillsdale College President Larry Arnn's inclusion on a progressive magazine's list of people who are, quote, destroying democracy was a cause for celebration.
The teachers are trained in the dumbest parts of the dumbest colleges in the country.
But it was Arnn's comments on teachers uttered right next to Tennessee Governor Bill Lee.
It wasn't about Tennessee teachers or Tennessee schools as much as it was about activism in education in this country.
Along with Lee's refusal to disavow those remarks that has continued to unleash a wave of outrage across the state, even drawing headlines in the Chronicle of Higher Education along with the Washington Post.
To say that teacher ed programs are from the dumbest parts of the dumbest universities is not appropriate in any context. Even if you disagree with what's going on in that context, demeaning them is not the way to do it.
Claude Prisno heads the Tennessee Independent Colleges and Universities Association, a group that includes Vanderbilt, Lipscomb, Belmont, and Trevecca.
I think it's unfortunate that the advisor to the governor on educational policy just doesn't feel good about education and teaching itself.
What do you make of that?
Well, what I make of his attitude is that he seems to be trying to make a point of the value of Hillsdale at the expense of everybody else.
While Lee had tried to explain away his friend's comments, News Channel 5 Investigates tracked down more video.
Teaching is a very high calling, and they're not trained that way anymore, and that's too bad.
This one from a 2021 speech right here in the mid-state, where the Hillsdale president again attacked teacher education programs.
What happens at those state universities is that they're clones of the most elite to the best of their ability, and very common that is. It's the third tier ones and second tier ones, some, that train the teachers.
I know that the universities that I attended, they are not third-rate universities. I've come from some of the best.
Tennessee Education Association President Tanya Coates says she believes Arnn's attacks are deliberate.
I just believe he's trying to make Tennesseans believe all of his lies so that he can just privatize. That's what I believe.
Vanderbilt University is anything but a second-rate institution, and I would say that about all our independent colleges.
And Arnn wasn't finished.
If the one in this room who knows the least about it set out honestly to construct a basic curriculum along the long established lines, you would do it more or less successfully in about a month. It's not that hard.
And for him to say that the least of them in that audience could do it and be up to speed within a month, again, is just a gross underestimation of the value of the teacher education profession.
I'm having lunch with the governor. And
In this video, Arnn said he planned to talk to Lee about Hillsdale setting up an education center here in Tennessee that, among other things, could help train teachers.
And he said he wanted charter schools and an education center.
An idea that in this recent video, Arnn claimed was something Lee wanted, although a spokesperson for the governor insisted it's not a project that the state is involved with. Does the governor need to say more?
I think the governor does need to say more, and I think what he needs to say needs to be on point to our concern, and our concern is Larry Arnn. We don't need someone in the state of Tennessee who comes from Michigan to come in and demean our current system in such an incredible way just to give himself credibility.
You don't have to be an expert to educate a child, because basically anybody can do it.
And tonight, a Hillsdale spokesperson is defending Dr. Arndt's comments, saying the nation's teachers' colleges have, quote, let teachers down and as a result, let down students and parents. Meanwhile, Dr. Arndt's statements got a strong rebuke today from the chairman of a key House Education Committee. Mark White posted on Facebook that, quote, any hope that Hillsdale will operate in Tennessee has been shattered.